Okay. Parakeh Mishnah, 5th chapter, 5th Mishnah. Halikeach min ha'ani. If someone buys produce from a poor person, so the thing about a poor person is we suspect since he's not particularly wealthy, he probably got a little bit here, a little bit there, and I'll put it together and try to make it sell and make a little profit. V'chein ha'ani shenaistin like prusas pas, or a poor person who people give him handouts. This guy gives him a piece of bread, or plachi dvela. So a few different people give him a slice of bread, or a piece of a fig cake. So meiser mikol echad v'echad. So you have to take meiser from each one because they're come from all different people. Maybe one person did take off meiser, one person didn't. Therefore, you take meiser from each one. But tomorrow, Gregorus, if they give him dates or figs, so they're separate small little fruits, boil v'naitel, he can mix them all together and take from the mixture and assume what he's taking is proportionate of the general mixture. So basically everything is working for itself. Rabbi Yehuda says, Amasai, when is that? Bisman shematana meruba.
What does Amasai mean?
When? Bisman shematana meruba, that's when it's a large amount, meaning it's everybody gave him a similar amount of, let's say, grapes. So he has, this guy gave him 20 grapes, that guy gave him 20 grapes, you mix them all together, you take out 4, you assume 2 came from that 20 and 2 came from that 20. Avol bisman shematana muetes, if one person gave him a much smaller amount, then you have to be meiser mikol echad v'echad, because maybe you'll get none of the smaller amount in what you ended up taking off from your whole mixture. Okay. Mishnah Vav. Halikeach min asitain. If you buy from a retailer, v'chazer v'lakach mimenu shniya, and you go back and buy again. Again, lo yaser mizel, you can't take meiser from what you bought at one time when you bought another time, because the retailer buys from all different people. There's no reason to assume that if maybe one was actually meiser and one wasn't, you really don't know. Even if you buy the exact same thing, but still it's or you buy wheat again and you buy the same type of wheat, but still that doesn't mean it necessarily came from the same farm. It could come from 2 different farms, 2 different places. However, the retailer is believed to say that yes, what you bought yesterday, when you bought today, those came from the same person. For that, we would believe him. There's no reason not. I mean, it doesn't benefit you that they're the same person. Really, it's just they're all. You don't know who that person was and whether he took off meiser or not. So you would be able to trust him. Mishnah Zayin. Halakech mi balabayis v'chazer v'lakach mimenu shniya. If you buy instead of from a retailer, you go to the individual farmer and you buy from him, and then you come back another day and buy more from him. Meiser mizel zeh. Then if you're buying from the farmer, you assume it grew in his farm, and either he takes meiser, or he doesn't take meiser, but he's consistent. So you could take meiser from what you bought one day and what you bought the other day. Afil mishti kupais, even if they were from 2 different baskets, but again, because it matters much more by the person than which crop this happens to be. Vafilu, sorry, I lost the place. Vafilu mishnei ayaris, even if they're from 2 different cities, you have different fields in different places. Again, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't care that they grew together. You care whether that he's the same person, so he either did or didn't take off meiser consistently, presumably. Balabayas shahayam meicher yerek b'shuk. You have a farmer who's selling. He has his farmer's market, and he's selling vegetables. So bizman shemivian loy megunios meiser miachas alakol. So if he's selling stuff from his own garden, again, same thing. You could take all the vegetables in his garden are either meiser or not. Megunios acheris. If he's selling things that grow in other people's gardens, meiser mikol echad v'echad, then again you don't know where anything came from. So each thing you'll take meiser from it itself, because that way maybe one of the gardeners did take meiser and one didn't. You don't want to take from what had meiser separated and what didn't. Mishnah Ches.
So you'll take the meiser
from each individual, whatever it is, right? Halakeach tevel. Let's say till now we've always been talking about demai. Let's say I buy something and the guy tells me I didn't take off meiser, and you're not really supposed to sell stuff you to take off meiser, but I didn't. So then meiser mizel zeh, for sure tevel. So then it for sure didn't have meiser taken off. Then you could do from one or the other. Even though they say you're not allowed to sell tevel unless there's some pressing need. But if you did buy tevel, so it's tevel, and meiser for sure needs to be taken off, and you have other tevel, so there's no problem. You could take meiser from one on the other.
What were you not supposed to buy tevel?
You're not supposed to sell tevel. You're not supposed to sell the produce before you took off the truma and meiser. You're supposed to do your mitzvah and not just pass it.
We're talking about all these cases where we're
right. But if you did buy it, which is there's no problem with buying it. The problem is with selling it.
Well,
if you did buy it,
it could be Suffolk.
No, so this is not Suffolk. This is for sure truma wasn't taken off.
Okay.
The seller is upfront about it. I didn't take off truma. I'm not supposed to sell this, but I am.
okay.
So if you buy it, you for sure need to take off meiser. So you buy from another guy who's in the same boat. His stuff also you for sure need to take off meiser. So there's no problems. You could take meiser, and you're good. Okay, I'll stop here.